Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Doom Productions podcast. My name is Ethan,
And my name is Jordan.
and we're talking about movies, discussing filmmaking, and all kinds of other stuff here. So thanks for hanging out with us. And we just do weekly podcasts just for fun. So glad you could join us for another one. In this episode, we're just talking about movies on our watch list that we haven't had time to see because we're filmmakers. We love movies. Everything about movies is great, but sometimes it's hard to make time to sit down and watch a movie. Yeah. And so we were kind of like, shoot, we should talk about the movies that we want to see with each other and just kind of share playlists with one another. And you guys can get in on this action too and watch what we're watching or maybe even beat us to it.
Well, I think it's one of those things that we love movies so much, and I feel like such a bad person when someone's like, "Oh, you see anything good?" And it's like, I have seen something good, but it was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. That feeling when it sinks in of like, oh shoot, last thing I've watched was like a month and a half back.
It's hard watching movies, it seems like, and I don't know. I mean, it comes down to scheduling, I think, mostly. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I feel like one could make the argument that, hey, you're a filmmaker, you should prioritize watching movies. But I also, I want to make stuff. Yeah. I feel really guilty sitting down and, watching a movie these days because it's like, oh, I know I should be doing this or that. And so sitting down to watch a movie is a lot. So usually if I'm watching a movie, when do I usually watch movies?
I usually watch them with other people. I rarely watch movies by myself anymore.
Yeah, if I'm looking at my Letterboxd diary, and it looks like everything I've watched on here, I watched with people. So my girlfriend and I, we were together for the weekend or whatever, and we watched a couple movies. Before that, I watched a movie with my cousin, but the last movie I saw on by myself for myself was Not Now, which is a YouTube movie by Ethan Stevens, which is really good. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. It's on YouTube for free. But I guess unless the movie's in theaters, I think that's the exception. Mm-hmm. If there's a new movie coming out in theaters that I want to see, I will see it. Am I with people? Yeah, but it's something I'd see by myself, even if I wasn't with people. So Shang-Chi was something I saw that I would I would have seen it. Or Venom 2, I saw that. Mm-hmm. That'd be another one.
Yeah. I'm definitely better at watching TV shows with other people. Mm-hmm. I know my girlfriend and I generally we're more likely to watch a show together. Excuse me, than we would a movie, but it just depends. We went and saw Candyman. That was probably the most recent movie I saw, and I saw that in theaters. Mm-hmm. So we just wanted to go see it. It was both something we were interested in. So it's hard, but
it's the first world problem.
I know,
but it's also kind of a good problem because it makes you really appreciate. It makes watching movies more special in a way.
Oh yeah.
Even though I would love to watch a movie every single day.
Yeah.
Before we shot Video Carnage, something I had done was every Sunday that was movie day. Mm-hmm. So I would try to watch as many movies as I could, which is awesome. But then you get into production and that consumes your whole life.
Yeah.
And we've been in nonstop production since Video Carnage, which was March?
Yeah.
Or was it before March?
It was end of February.
End of February. So from end of February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October.
Here we are in
9
October.
months. We have never
not been in production.
Not in production for 9 months on something.
Yeah.
It's because it was Video Carnage.
It was Video Carnage. See You Soon.
See You Soon.
Wild Boys.
Bell Rings. And now we're just starting a new movie, a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Yep. Gosh.
And then we're making videos every week too. Yeah, it's just
so I guess thing. It reminds me of that Twitter meme where it's please someone help me budget, and it's food and groceries $40, other things $10, but then candles $1,000, and someone was like, why don't you spend less money on candles?
No.
I guess that's kind of how it feels because it's we could choose not to make movies, but
we could take a break.
Is that a white life worth living? That's my response.
We didn't get into filmmaking because it's easy. We got into it because, damn it, we like working ourselves to death sometimes.
Yeah, all that to say, we're bad at watching movies, but we
Yeah.
want to get better.
We feel like you have to practice. Literally, you have to sit down and just absorb the screen.
Yeah.
But that's hard.
Well, it's also hard when there's like, because there are Hollywood production big budget movies, so like bigger stuff. But then there's also movies on YouTube, which we make movies on YouTube. And I find that when it comes to watching movies on YouTube, that's even finding that time for that is really hard because I want to give those filmmakers 110% of my time and attention. Like I don't want to be distracted. I don't want the phone going off or anything. I don't want to like, tune out and like just check my phone for a bit. Like, no, I want to watch the whole thing beginning to end.
Yeah.
And so, but if I'm like watching Pirates of the Caribbean, I've seen that a whole bunch.
You can zone out.
It's not a new movie. It's not in theaters. I can kind of zone out. I can if a message goes off, I can check that. I can browse memes if I want while I'm watching. I don't feel so guilty.
Yeah.
And that's another thing because I think this list will probably be mostly Hollywood movies, but my watch list for YouTube films is equally as long.
Yeah.
I think. And we're probably not even going to go through our entire list, but these are like some big ones that we've talked about. Yeah, I mean, gosh. Yeah, I'm just looking at my list. There's so many.
I know. I'm like trying to go over to like on all my streams too.
It
Like,
feels endless.
yeah.
I mean, the way I add movies to my watch list, my mentality, because I used to go through a period of like, ooh, I'm just going to add everything to my watch list because I want to see everything. But that is not sustainable. That is not sustainable because then you get so far behind.
Yeah.
So now what I do is like, if a movie, like I hear about it or something about it really speaks to me, like just hearing about it, or I really like the director, whoever's involved, I will add it to my watch list.
Yeah.
But there's movies like, what's an example? Last Night in Soho. That's one. Like that's one where I'm definitely gonna see it. I want to see it, but there's nothing like. I'm not gonna lose track of Last Night in Soho.
Yeah.
I try to put things in my watch list that maybe aren't in the like that aren't huge right now. So a lot of this stuff is like a lot of it's older movies. There's some newer movies, but even if they're newer, they're kind of lesser known. Like I try to like Spider-Man 3 or the new Spider-Man that's going to come out. I'm going to go see it. I want to see it.
Yeah. I don't need to be reminded.
I'm not going to forget to see Spider-Man. But if I'm bored and I'm looking for something to watch and it's like, "Oh, there's a bunch of movies that are already out or going to come out soon."
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my method for adding stuff. How do you do your watch list?
It's pretty similar. I mean, I kind of throw, like, if it's on streaming, pretty much if it's, like on HBO Max, which is like my main place for watching movies, it's pretty much just either I'll get a recommendation from someone and I'll immediately add it, or I'll just be scrolling through and I'll know like, oh, I've heard of this movie or it looks interesting. I'm not going to watch it now because I'm not in the mood or don't have time.
Yeah.
But I want to save this for the time when I am bored and I'm just going through my watch list and have it ready to go. So I'm not trying to remember, oh, what was that one movie I saw or heard about 3 months ago? So it's just a way to help me out. But it is just a big amalgamation of just kind of everything, just so I have those options.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's older stuff, a lot of it's newer stuff. Yeah, it's just everything.
Yeah. So I guess, should we just get into one of our movies? We've been chatting about like, hey, we're bad at watching movies for so much.
Now that you've gotten the backstory of how we watch movies.
Yeah, and why this is so important. Like, I guess this could also be like movies that are like everybody, like movies you might be surprised to hear that we haven't seen or something.
Yeah.
That might be another alternate title for this. But
Yeah.
if you were to go to like your number one on your watch list, like what's the one that you are like, it's the highest priority. You may or may not be in the right mood for it all the time, but it is your highest, like, oh my, I need to see this at some point.
Yeah, I think at this point it's got to be Eraserhead. I know. It's a movie that we've talked about several
Yeah.
times. I've expressed several times how much I want to see it, and it just hasn't happened yet. And it's been on my watch list for a while.
Eraserhead is that's my favorite, one of my favorite movies, but also a favorite Lynch movie for
Yeah.
sure.
So that's huge, and I'm looking at it right now. Jeez, it's just I'm never like I
In the
just
mood.
haven't sat myself down and been like and that's what it's gonna have to be at the end of the day. Is I'm just gonna sit down and be like,
You know, that
Just
might
watch
make
it.
for this isn't Halloweeny, but it might make for a good Halloween watch.
I know.
Make for an maybe not like it's not the main event, but like
it's one of those supporter like lesser. You know something? I have no idea what Eraserhead's about.
good. Don't
Yeah.
just go into it fresh.
Yeah, and no, I am glad that I don't know because I genuinely don't.
I think that'd be a good one. Like whatever your big finale is to close out your Halloween month of Halloween watching movies, like whether it be Halloween or Over the Garden Wall, put Eraserhead on. Don't like feel like you have to watch it because you'll probably be tired and you'll probably fall asleep to it. But it'll give you that taste, and then you will want more, and then
Yeah.
then you can watch more.
Right on. Other than Eraserhead, another big one that I just missed the window on, but because it was one of those, HBO puts it out for 30 days
Yeah.
due to COVID and then took it away, but it's back out now, and I just haven't done it, is Judas and the Black Messiah,
Yeah.
which looks just awesome.
That looks fantastic. Yeah. I have a similar relationship with that movie. For whatever reason, whenever a movie has come out on HBO Max, you would think that like these are movies that I would go pay to see in the theater.
Yeah.
And if it was out in the theaters, I will go pay to see it. But I think at the time when that movie came out, it wasn't in theaters.
No, it was only on HBO.
And for whatever reason, it was always that thing of like, well, I'm not going to the theater, so it's not like a big special night, so I'll watch it at some point.
Yeah.
But then 30 days passed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened to me too.
Yeah.
It's just a bummer, super annoying. And then I'll just give a third. I guess this will be my HBO Max top selections, and I'll go to a different app and I'll just keep going when we ping pong. Okay, two that are on my list that are just very funny to put next: Malcolm X and 8 Mile. Those are two that have been on my list for a long time that I haven't seen, and those are like also ones that I really want to watch at some point.
Very different than Eraserhead.
I know that tells you just how mixed this this playlist is.
Yeah.
The Ethan playlist is a very strange taste.
That's 8 Mile. Why 8 Mile?
In high school, my friends and I were all really big Eminem fans, and particularly that album, we would just start learning songs from and quote them at each other and try and start a song and then see who can finish it. I don't even like that much Eminem music. Like I don't listen to him ever, but yeah, for some reason my friends and I were just zoned in on that, and so I need to watch the movie just for that alone.
Because that one to me, like, it's a great movie. I enjoy it just fine, but it's definitely one when you think of like a filmmaker, like a film person's like watch list, you think, oh yeah, they've probably already seen it, and like,
Nope,
yeah, it's fun.
I haven't gotten there yet. Working on it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Okay.
What do we got?
If I'm going by priority, let's see. I'll do. How many did you give?
I gave 3, technically 4.
Okay, I'll give 3, technically 4 as well. Okay, first one. Okay, I think there's a recurring pattern with this. But Black Bear's one. That's a newer movie. That has Aubrey Plaza in it, and she's one of my favorite kind of actresses. Like who's like kind of not at her peak, but like. She's a pretty popular actress.
Yeah.
And like she's like on a roll with her career or whatever. That was I think it was a smaller budget, independent Hollywood movie. Hollywood with quotations because it's Hollywood, but it's a small budget Hollywood.
Yeah.
It released on demand, I think, December of last year, I think. And it's one of those things where whenever you go to rent it, it's like $20 or like $10.
Oh.
And it's so one of those things where, and I've gotten like at several points for the last 10 months, I have gone online to be like, I wonder if Black Bear's free on a streaming service yet, and it just hasn't, because I just on principle I do not want to pay like that much money to rent a movie. If I'm going to spend that much money, I'll buy the Blu-ray. You know, actually, I'm going to check right now. Is the Blu-ray available? Hold on. The real time. I'm sure this is real exciting.
This is the most important
Black
part
Bear
of the whole stream
film, because
or
I straight up,
podcast.
that happened with Minari this year.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that so bad, but the tickets to rent it were $20, and I was like, screw that. I'm going to pre-order it once it's out, and I did that. So is there a DVD of this? See, oh, it looks like you can rent it for $3 or buy for 18, but this is digital.
Buying digital.
We are big physical media people here.
No. The only digital movie I've ever bought was BVS, the extended edition, because of when Zack Snyder did that live stream event, and I needed, for some reason, I needed it to be the digital version.
Yeah.
And so I bought it for that.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I've ever paid for.
Yeah, I'm not big on buying digital movies. I much rather have the copy. And I'm also not a big fan of like, I feel weird when it's like I pay for HBO Max. I have access to all these other streaming services with lots of great movies on them.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to spend, I'm kind of frugal. Like I don't feel like I need to spend the money to rent a movie, which probably seems really weird and specific, and it makes sense to me, and it probably doesn't make sense to anyone else. But for whatever reason, I wanted to see Black Bear. I still have not seen it, and I think it's the fact that it's just not available makes me want it more.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real reason why it's like the top of my list. So if honestly, you know, for certain movies you have to be in the mood, but if someone was like, "Hey, Black Bear is free on Hulu right now," I'd be like, "Okay, I'm stopping what I'm doing. I'm watching Black Bear just because I really want to see it." Luckily, I haven't been spoiled on it, whatever happens, but yeah, I want to see Black Bear really bad. Another one, which is an older one, is Possession, which is like an old horror movie. I think it's...
Nice.
I don't know which country it's from. I'm looking at all the names. Oh, it's Germany and France. Looks like languages French, German, English. I'm looking at the names. I can't recognize necessarily the country of origin. Oh, Sam Neill's in it? Okay, I don't know what kind of language this is in. I've heard so much about it. The premise sounds really interesting. It's a horror movie from 1981. It's probably a movie that people assume that I have seen because I'm huge into horror, but I just haven't seen it yet. And I think it's a similar thing where I don't think it's available to watch online in most places. And so I just, you know, it's kind of a pain to rent DVDs. I mean, you can't really rent DVDs anywhere these days.
That's only Redbox.
Or the library.
Yeah, or the library.
So I just haven't seen it. But it's one of those movies where if I saw a Blu-ray sitting on the shelf at the store, I'd probably make an impulse buy on Possession just because it sounds great. I really want to see it. And then Yellow Rose is another one. This is a smaller independent movie, like actually independent. Like only 2,000 people on Letterboxd have seen it. And this one's pretty readily available to watch. And this is a movie that I wouldn't mind spending the money to rent because I feel with like truly like really low budget movies, you know, under $100,000 or whatever. I don't know how much the budget was. It looked pretty small. It had a limited theatrical release, but it looked like it was really small. Like there's a bunch of no-name actors, no-name director, I think. For something like that, I am okay with spending the money to rent because I want to support those artists. They need the money a little bit more than, you know, something with Aubrey Plaza. I mean, not that I don't want to support like, you know, those projects, but at the same time, like, you know, I feel like those small movies really need it. So Yellow Rose is another one, which it's one of those movies where it looks like you have to be in the mood for it. And whenever I've been in the mood for it, I'm like, I don't have the money right now. Yeah. Even though it's a little bit. So it is in my it's in my Amazon wish list on DVD. So I wouldn't spend the money to rent it. I would spend the money to buy it by this point. And now it's a matter of like, okay, whenever I'm going to make my next bulk Amazon purchase or whatever, I'll order it off of there, the DVD or whatever.
Yeah, those are the kind of movies that I save for like Christmas or birthdays. I have them in like a shopping cart that I can like send a link to my family and be like, okay, if you bought me any of these, like I'll be happy. Yeah. I generally don't buy new movies that often.
Yeah.
We're big on hitting up that Value Village or Goodwill and finding the VHS selection.
Yeah.
So getting new movies is a special occasion.
Well, I think that's where we differ a little bit because I do buy a lot of new movies.
Yeah.
I think I have a pretty big. I mean, I don't have a huge collection, but
Yeah.
it's pretty sizable.
Oh yeah.
And so something like Yellow Rose is like, I want it. And I think it was playing in theaters actually I think it came out during the pandemic. I mean, we're still in the pandemic, but like it came out like last summer or fall. And I looked up showtimes because I wanted to see it in theaters, but it wasn't playing anywhere. It was playing in Eugene, 2 hours away. And I'm not about to drive 2 hours for a movie, which will probably be released on online.
Yeah.
And then when it was online, of course, I just haven't been in the mood. And now I'm at a point where I just need to buy the DVD. But I also got to be responsible with my money. So Yellow Rose is another one that I really want to check out. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3. That was 3. I'll give another one, Willy's Wonderland with Nick Cage. Nick Cage is one of my favorite actors. A similar situation. When it came out at first, I think it played in theaters.
Yeah.
I think, but I'm not positive.
I think it was like really select theaters.
See, if it came out in theaters, I definitely would have seen it, though. That's the thing. I wonder when it came out. When did this come out? And now it's that moment in the podcast where people are like, I know the answer. It's so frustrating that you don't. Does it Letterboxd have release days?
We need to hire the fact checker.
Yeah. Pull that up, Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay, regardless. Willy's Wonderland. That was another one. Oh, you know what? It was in theaters, but it played at Cinema 21. And that's kind of, when you go see a movie downtown, that's kind of a bigger deal. And I think it might have been when we were shooting Video Carnage, which is why I didn't see it.
It released in February, so it would have been in pre-production. So
yeah, for whatever reason, I just didn't get the chance to see it, and I didn't want to pay a bunch of money to rent it, and now it's on Hulu for free, and it's in my watch list, and now it's become another one of those movies where it's like just sitting there. It's like, oh, I got to get to it, but I'll get to it at some point. I got to be in the mood for that. That might be a good, fun slasher horror movie watch this October.
I'm going to sidetrack us here. This is a perfect break for a story time. So, and this is related to Willy's Wonderland. That was
Willy's Wonderland, yeah.
Okay, so I was at work this week, or maybe last week, and it was kind of that check-in, seeing how everyone was doing on Monday morning, all that, how's the weekend, all that. And one of my coworkers was like, yeah, so I went to one of my friends' kid's birthday at Chuck E. Cheese. And he was like, yeah, one of the kids, I guess, saw this weird, or like heard about this weird movie about like animatronics coming to life. And I was like, oh, is it Willy's Wonderland? He's like, oh yeah, I think that was it. And so this kid was like terrified of animatronics.
That's hilarious.
And he was like 7, I think, turning 8, but he like was terrified of them. Has a younger brother, and was telling his younger brother about these animatronics that will come to life and kill you. But then the older brother kind of got over that fear and moved on, but the younger kid was absolutely terrified.
Parents, you need to monitor what your kids are watching.
But now his this kid still asked for a Chuck E. Cheese birthday party, because that's what kids ask for, but he didn't put together that Chuck E. Cheese is an animatronic.
What? Oh my
So he
gosh.
goes to Chuck E. Cheese, and the part of like the package that you get at birthdays is Chuck E. in a dude in this costume comes out to visit you.
You will be blessed with his presence.
They're singing happy birthday, and out walks Chucky to the table to come greet the kid.
I'm picturing this in slow motion.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm picturing like a close-up on the kid's face. All right, bring him out. Slow-mo turns, cuts to the door, slowly opening.
The fog comes out, red light. Chucky just
We
emerges.
hear happy birthday to you in like just happy
It gets
birthday.
deeper and deeper.
It's just, and every time it cuts to the kid's face, it's just slowly the camera's slowly pushing in.
And just a vignette, and it just goes dark.
Then literally all the lights cut out, and it's just like a single, like all we can see is Chucky walking through the dark.
And he's not even walking, it's just that float where he's just pushing forward. Yeah, pure horror. So Chucky comes out, this kid just starts screaming. And these poor parents are trying to like tell the like
He starts
birthday
frothing at the
coordinator-
mouth. Drooling.
like he's like, can we not do this? And the birth coordinator like goes over to Chucky and is like, hey, the kid's not digging it. Clearly, like you gotta go. And
it's like a wrestler who's asked to throw the fight, and he's like, I don't do this. I don't do this for you.
But then
Chungy don't throw no fight.
So then Marcus, my coworker, who was also Bigfoot in our movie Wild Boys Hunt for Sasquatch, he just says what he sees is the Chucky actor. Just once he hears the kid's not having it, he just slouches down like he's just heard the most defeating news ever, and just slowly walks away and goes back into the back room. And Marcus was like, I was dying the whole time, and man, I wish I was there. It sounds so funny.
I really like to think that like he got really angry and he was like punching a wall. He's like, I'm not gonna throw, and he like
Damn kids.
Then he opens the door. He's like, no, I am doing this.
It goes back out.
It just charges.
Kids are screaming everywhere, and he's just having the time of his life. Like happy music is playing. It's all in slow motion.
It's like when you see the slow-mo promos of a football game, and like it's the hike hut, and then they collide.
Yeah.
You get like an army of kids like just trying to push him off.
But he's just not taking it. Chucky's better than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
I think it's my turn to give some movies. If I can remember my password to my iPad. What do you mean you're not letting me log in?
Oh, Willy's Wonderland. Yeah, that's on Hulu. Which I'm sure most people know. Everyone tells me it's terrible, but I don't care. I love Nick Cage. I'll see whatever with him.
Nick Cage is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
He will die on that hill.
He elevates every movie he's in.
Whether or not it's your taste, that is completely different.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely ours.
Yeah.
All right. This is a 3-in-1. This only counts as one. Fear Street is big on my list. I don't know how we didn't bring it up for a Halloween thing, but Fear Street is something I haven't seen yet that I'm really, really looking forward to. And also I'm going to pair that with Hubie Halloween, because those are all right next to each other on my list. And Adam Sandler's just a good time.
I've seen Hubie Halloween.
I know you have.
It's pretty. If you like Adam Sandler, it is definitely the movie for you. And I am a fan of Adam Sandler, so it is a movie for me.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I got to add that to my. No, I think it is in my list. We just didn't talk about it last time.
A movie that I have not seen that you would assume I have, or a filmmaker has. There Will Be Blood. I have not seen, and it's been on my list. You would love
that movie.
Oh, I'm sure.
You will love that.
There will be love for that movie.
You've seen The Master though.
Yeah, we saw that together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a. I think I slightly prefer The Master, but There Will Be Blood is really, 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 really good. It's amazing.
I need to see The Master again, because I'll be honest, the first time I saw it, I was lukewarm on it at most. I thought it was good, but I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I think I need to see it again.
Yeah.
I think it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. But I think I just wasn't, I don't know what wasn't clicking with me in the movie, but I want to see it again. Because I love Joaquin now. I think that was my that was my second Joaquin Phoenix movie I'd ever seen. And also just...
Have you seen Signs?
Was he in that?
Yeah, he's the son.
Oh.
One of the sons.
I haven't seen Signs since I was a kid, though, so I guess I wasn't thinking about it.
So that technically...
Okay,
The Master was the third.
It was the third, and in between that was her.
Did you see Brother Bear, the Disney movie?
No, I actually never saw Brother Bear.
Okay. That's a weird one that he's in. It's weird that Joaquin was in a Disney animated film.
Is he the bear?
Or is he the
human?
guy who's turned into a bear.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, he's not the kid.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah, it's weird to think about.
I wouldn't have cast him in that. I wouldn't have cast. I wouldn't have pictured him cast in that.
Something I've noticed about Paul Thomas Anderson's last few movies is you kind of gotta watch him multiple times to really get it. I feel like Inherent Vice was that was when I watched multiple times, and it wasn't until maybe the fourth or fifth time I was like, oh, I get. It was always funny because there's some weird absurd humor in there, but it wasn't until the last couple times it was like, oh, I get it. Mm-hmm. And then Phantom Thread, I feel like I watched that once, and I liked it, but then I saw it on DVD and I was like, oh, that's amazing. I can't remember. But yeah, There Will Be Blood, you'll like when that comes out. Or when it comes out. It came out over 10 years.
When's it coming out?
It came out in 2007.
Yeah.
That's one you'll love.
No, I'm excited.
Have you seen No Country for Old Men?
No.
Okay, you need to watch both of those in the same day.
Oh, okay.
Because those movies were shot around the same time. They came out the same year. One's kind of like a Western, the other's like a neo-Western. They're very, very good.
Yeah.
Like they're good, like complementary movies in a way.
Neat. Cool. So yeah, I will be watching those at some point. And then I guess it's another, these two go close together. So I'm combining, I'm doing like so many movies in this round. The Room and The Disaster Artist. I have not seen either one, and I've wanted to see both.
The Room as in the Tommy Wiseau movie.
The Tommy Wiseau one, not Room, the other one. But
I don't think you need to see The Room to understand The Disaster Artist.
No, and I don't think I need to either, but I think I just want to.
Yeah.
For the cult nature of it.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's a pretty fun watch. Very entertaining.
But I mean, I just like, oh my goodness, I'm playing James Franco a lot. So I'm excited to see him in another movie. And yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
That's it?
Oh, well, how many more do you want me to say?
Oh, okay.
I'm passing it back. That isn't
passing
it.
it back. Okay. Because I'm going through my...
I just don't want to hog the spotlight too much.
You're
I figure
fine.
if each of us do one more round, or so you do two more, I'll do one more. I think that's a good...
I have not seen... This is one that is surprising that I haven't seen, but 2046, which is Wong Kar-wai's one of his movies. It's the third movie in his trilogy with Maggie Cheung and Tony Leung.
Okay.
Where what was it? Days of Being Wild, I think, is the first one, and then In the Mood for Love, and then 2046. But they're loose sequels to each other.
Okay.
Like they're not like conventional. It's not a conventional trilogy. And I love all of Wong Kar-wai's work, but that's one of his that I haven't seen, and it's like, oh, I really need to get on that because I'm always telling people, you need to watch Tony Leung and like In the Mood for Love and Wong Kar-wai. It's a very basic filmmaker like pick.
Yeah.
But it's also one that's like, oh, you would expect a filmmaker to have seen 2046. And we talked about it in one of my cinema classes, but I just haven't seen it yet. And that's an older movie. And I guess if I'm going in the category of like older movies that I just haven't like seen yet, I think another one is The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover, which I hear is really messed up, really disturbing. It's by Peter Greenaway, who did this movie called Prospero's Books, which it's incredible. It's amazing. And I just keep hearing about The Cook a whole lot. So that's one that's like, I need to watch that. And I think it's streaming free on Peacock right now.
Oh, right on.
And I think you can rent it on Amazon maybe. Maybe it's free on Amazon, but that's another one that it's one of those movies where I've heard so much about it, but it's not been spoiled, just about like how it makes people feel.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see a movie that I don't know anything about and to be like taken on a ride, seemingly. Because I guess it's supposed to be really messed up and not like Sallow or like Cannibal Holocaust levels, but like still pretty disturbing from what I've heard. So yeah, that is I guess I'll throw those out there. And I mean, that's the frustrating thing because I hear about new movies, or not new movies. I hear about old movies all the time that are like, oh, that sounds fantastic. I got to see that, and I'll add it to my list. And then I just kind of forget about it. I feel like the easiest way to do it would be like if I had a more leisurely. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
If my schedule was not so scheduled and more open, I think I would be like, ooh, that sounds like a good movie. I'm going to watch it right now. But I I mean, with me, I kind of like to make watching movies special because it's like I don't want to just put on a movie and then have to stop it or pause it or bit. Like I want to like close the windows, close the blinds, like make popcorn or whatever, and put in the movie and give it my attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I said I do that with YouTube movies. I still like to do that with normal other movies, but I feel like, even more so with YouTube movies. But yeah, it's hard, as we said before, our schedule. I mean, because right after this, I mean, you're probably going to go edit. I'm going to go prep for shooting tomorrow. And then tomorrow, like, it's an open day, but it's like, yep, I'm just going to be shooting that day.
Yep.
And see
We'll
what
be
happens.
editing all day tomorrow.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to watch more movies. I think that's the message of this. I mean, it's like one of those things. What's the Wario meme where he's like, "I've won, but at what cost?" Like we're making movies. How great is that? We don't get to watch movies every day.
No.
I think Bong Joon-ho, I think I read in his routine, he wakes up at 5 a.m. every morning to watch a movie or a couple movies.
It's like working out, but working out the filmmaker's soul. That's beautiful.
And he's also a super rich, like famous director, so he can afford to do that. It's kind of hard when...
Well, it sucks when if you're the director of a big movie, that's one thing. In our level, we're the director, producer, scheduler, everything.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a director for us, because the director spearheads.
I feel like it's been very go, go, go this year with us.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about this before, but I think it might be nice after December to take take it easy.
All the movies I plan for next year are so much lower key. Like, I would love to shoot each one in a week. And have less planning in terms of like technical. Yeah. And it's just on set stuff. Or put a lot more of the planning in like what the actors are given to do, as opposed to like the hard stuff director has to do. I don't know if that makes sense, but let the performances be more of the focus than the technical. Yeah. That would be fun.
I think it's one of those things where, when you're a real no budget independent filmmaker, you are wearing so many different hats, and it kind of absorbs all aspects of your life, and it kind of has to. Like, there's people, I mean, at least the way that we work, there's people who are like, yeah, I spent like 2 years working on this movie. I shot like a scene a month, did some I edited it. Like, there's people who work like that, and that's fine. That's the speed that works for them. But I like to do it, and use that momentum, because I think if you stop and wait too long, I get really burnt out. I mean, that's happened. We have made movies where it takes months, if not years, like a long time to make stuff, and I don't enjoy it as much. I want to enjoy it, and I enjoy it when it's like all condensed into a short time span.
At least the suffering is condensed and not lasting forever.
But the trade-off, of course, is then it consumes your whole life. It's not like, because there's filmmakers who will be like, yeah, I go to work and I'm and like they're working towards shooting one scene for a month, and they'll prep for shooting one scene over the course of like 3 weeks. For us, it's like, I'm gonna shoot like 20 scenes this weekend, and I gotta prep for all of that. So it's like
you're shooting a movie in a month.
Yeah.
Well, less ideally for us.
Well, I mean,
so that's like 150 to 200 scenes generally.
Yeah. Oh, and it's not like, people just work. People work at their own pace. Yeah. But like, if you are working at the slower pace and you're building up to prep one scene over 3 weeks, you kind of have the time to like sit around and watch a movie, I would imagine, unless it's like a complicated one take, single shot, like kind of
coordinating with locations, all that.
Yeah. I can for sure see prepping for 3 weeks for one scene. But I think if you're not doing that, then it's probably easier to just tune out and like just kind of like enjoy life. Which sounds funny to say. Yeah. I don't feel like, unless I'm like hanging out with people, I don't get to enjoy life in like because filmmaking is our passion. That's what we like to do, and I just feel very nonstop again this year with it. And so if I'm with someone else, it's like, okay, I'm going to give them my attention. They want to watch a movie, so we're going to watch a movie, and it's like, oh, I can forget about movie making for a little bit, which is nice.
Forget about everything for a little while.
Yeah. Another great movie.
Another great movie
that we have seen.
Yep. I've seen it.
Okay.
No, I saw it. I watched that.
I was giving Ethan a look of like, have you seen that, or are you just saying?
I watched that during House last year. I was shooting House.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I've got a couple more if we want to keep going on this.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like we can each do like one more set.
I think. Well, what might be nice is like talk about the YouTube movies.
Yeah.
Because if you follow us, you probably are aware that there's a movement of filmmakers on YouTube. We're a part of that movement, or I wouldn't say movement. There's a lot of filmmakers who have been releasing stuff for free on YouTube. We do that. We are friends with a lot of other people who do that. And we, wait, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, yes. Okay. If you weren't aware, that is something that exists. And these are filmmakers. When I say YouTube movies, these are filmmakers and films that, this is kind of what we're referring to. So if you follow us, you're probably aware of that. If you're not aware, that's what the deal is. You can check out our YouTube page for like more information, and just click around, just search folk filmmaking on YouTube and it'll probably pop up. But yes, these are, I guess, folk films or YouTube films that are on our lists that we need to see. And it's hard to see them because, well, we've already said.
Yeah. First one on my list, High Definition by Echo Light Entertainment.
That's on mine too.
That's one that I've been interested in. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, Dan Lotz and Joel Haver did a video talking about movies, and that was on their list, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So that's one. Girls' Night.
That one's great. That one's fantastic.
That's one I've been looking forward to for a while. And let me see. Lucidity, one you recommended to me.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah.
That was made by a high schooler. I don't know when, like a few years ago.
I think it was.
It's like 5 years old, I think.
Yeah, it was made, let me see, in 2018 was when it was released.
Oh, I guess it's not that long.
No.
It's only 3 years. But the scope of it is so just like commendable, and be like, oh my gosh, a high school, like...
It's an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's long. It's good. It's good.
The other ones aren't that long.
No, I think she's done...
Girls' Night's 53 and High Definition is like 44.
Well, I think the filmmaker of that one, I think it's Olivia, her name, I can't remember. But of Lucidity, she's done shorter stuff since, but she's not really, that's not like a normal, regular thing. Because she did a Hunger Games fan film too.
Yeah.
Which I need to check out. That's one in my list that I want to see. But yeah, long movies are great. I think for me, well, there's a filmmaker acquaintance of ours. We haven't really spoken, but we've messaged like back and forth. Ignacio Santana. He made a movie called Hanging with a Friend, and once he did it, he sent it to us. And once you send a movie to us, like that automatically is like, okay, we got to watch
Priority,
that first.
yeah.
That's the highest priority. So for us, that's like, okay, we got to check that out like ASAP, which it's difficult. Because
It'll have to be a day we sit down together and just watch it.
Yeah, I think so,
Like
because
a Jordan Ethan date night.
Yeah, I know. I need to watch that, and especially when people send us stuff, because it's really cool to hear like, oh my gosh, someone wants us to see their movie. I need to watch this, and of course, because of reasons previously stated, it is hard to watch. Find time to watch a movie these days, but that's all right. It's all right.
It's all right.
But that is the priority for me right now. There's a couple of other ones that like probably if you're aware of folk filmmaking, you've probably heard like WFH by Low Budget Visions, Matt Berry. That's one I need to see. The Printer and His Boy, or The Printer and the Boy.
Yeah, that was one I almost said too.
High Definition. There's two smaller ones, which I can't remember how we heard about them, but one was Merry Christmas by the Way, and They Read by Night.
They Read by Night was one I recommended.
Okay, you recommended that one.
That also is high up on my list.
Yeah.
Thanks for mentioning that one. Yes, They Read by Night looks so great. It has, okay, I got to give credit. I haven't watched it, but I did click on it just to see what it was like, just to get like a 30-second vibe. I think it had my favorite opening hook of a folk film I've seen in a while.
Nice.
It drawed me in so quick. So
Nice.
I can't wait to watch that one.
Cool.
And it's in black and white, which is just awesome.
Yeah, black and white's great. And then there's a lot of like lesser known stuff on my YouTube filmmaker list, but again, I try not to add because there's so many movies being released on YouTube for free right now.
Yeah.
What I'll do is if I know the person or if I'm aware of the person, like if I follow them, like Low Budget Visions, I follow Zaid Aftab, I think his name. Mm-hmm. Like I'm aware of him. He's commented on our stuff. I think we've commented on his.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. So that like just kind of goes in the list. But then if I just see like there's some people like Dan Lotz will be like, oh, there's a new feature film on YouTube. I'm going to watch it right away and I'm going to watch it now, or that's in my list. I don't do that with everything just because there's so much and I would never keep up. So what I do is if I look at the description or see something and it stands out in a huge way, like, ooh, I want to see that.
Yeah.
So that'll go into the list. And yeah, it's, gosh, you know, we're leaving this episode and I'm feeling overwhelmed with how much movies I haven't seen.
I know it's easy to just add it to the watch list, but once you kind of take stock of the watch list, it gets a little terrifying. I need to make a spreadsheet. I know you're big on spreadsheets. I need to make one of all of these because I have them in different streaming services, but I don't really think about them unless I'm on that service. So once I come on, that's when so looking at like jumping between all of them and seeing, it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many movies.
Well, again, it's hard because you might not be in the mood for a movie every single time, or you might not be able to find a movie on a certain platform.
Yeah.
And again, like with YouTube movies, I want to both be in the mood for it, and I also want to give it my full attention, which I guess is kind of in the mood. Like you have to be in the mood to give something your full attention. So I guess that kind of is kind of repeating itself. But you get the point.
Yeah.
Because I would hate for like someone to kind of watch my movie with one eye on their phone the whole time. If you do that and you can pay attention, like I'm not stopping you. I'll never find out. But like,
comment down below if you watch our movies while on your phone.
That's definitely I want to give those filmmakers courtesy and respect. I mean, all filmmakers courtesy and respect, but especially like YouTube filmmakers, because
you're not getting paid to make this stuff.
They're not getting paid. That's a labor of love. You know, as I said before, I can tune out watching, a big Hollywood movie pretty easily. Not that I enjoy doing it necessarily, but it's like if I'm really not if I'm really not vibing with a Hollywood movie, I'll just pull out my phone and I might like look at memes, or I might draw, or I might like finish some work. But I'll have the movie going and I will finish it generally. Yeah. I don't feel like I should do that with a YouTube movie.
No.
But I'm sure there's people who like out there who watch the first 5 minutes of a movie and they're like, this sucks, and then they like just shut it off. I always feel like I need to stick with the movie.
That's some chaotic energy.
I know.
I think I've only done that a handful of times.
Well, there was a family, not a family, there was a girl or a couple of different girls when I went to middle school, because you check in at that every day and it's like, hey, what'd you guys do this weekend? I remember one day this girl was like, yeah, we went to go see Iron Man, but we had to get on the bus at a certain time, so we left early.
How do you?
So like you paid to see the movie, but you don't stick around for the ending. And this one, I'm not even talking about like, this is before like post-credit scenes were big with Marvel movies. Like that's a staple. This was like, we didn't see how Iron Man ended because we had to catch a bus.
What?
Which, and I don't even think, I think I talked to her and she was like, yeah, we didn't see it. We came in a little bit late, and it's like, so wait, so you paid to see like 80% of the movie?
Not even the beginning?
Which, I mean, again,
especially like, what if you liked it?
This is how I could picture this going. Why you do that? Like, you are a family of 5 or 6. You don't have a car. maybe you're like you're running errands
Yeah.
and you have to, for whatever reason, you can't get home too early, or maybe the bus isn't running at a certain time or whatever. So it's like, well, we need time to kill. So let's just see something right now, and we're going to pick whatever's playing right now, and maybe you'll play to the end. And then you go and you're monitoring the time on your watch, and then you were like, oh, we need to go out because the movie's going to go past the bus, and so now we're going to get on the bus. That's the scenario I can picture, but that is such chaotic energy.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I think if movies were free, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, because
or if like I've seen it.
Yes, that makes sense.
But if it's like a new movie.
I mean, there's people out there who don't care about movies, which is weird.
What?
I know.
What?
I know I'm breaking the news, but there's people out there who are like, yeah, movies aren't really my thing. I don't like, they'll just look at like they get bored during movies. Like they can't sit still. So it's like those people exist and it's a sad life.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers to you people who don't like movies.
Yeah, we'll be thinking about you. We'll make our next movie for you.
Yeah. Well, that's a good place to wrap up, I think. Hearing about that chaotic energy of the girl who didn't finish a movie.
I wonder if she's seen Iron Man since.
We should do a check-in. Can we get her on the podcast sometime?
I can't even remember her name. I just remember that it was a girl.
Okay.
I think she was... I can't even
Obviously
remember.
not someone we want to be friends with.
Yeah. Well, again, I think when you're in middle school, you're not controlling going to the theater as much as your parents. So it's definitely a parent thing.
Yeah.
So
no, it's okay. We forgive.
We forgive, but we will never forget. Yeah. So I guess we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
I guess what's new? Is there anything new? Maybe that would have been a better place to start.
That would have been. Well, you only briefly talked about, we very in passing discussed that we're shooting a new feature film right now.
Yes, we're shooting a new Halloween feature film. It is, I would say, we posted a picture on Instagram earlier, and Dan Lotz of 922 Films was like, ooh, an October sequel. And I commented, well, it's more like a spin-off of anything.
Yeah.
It features a character who's in October.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's pretty easy to see once you see the photo. So just go to our Instagram
obvious.
and you can see it. So we're starting that. It's going to take about 8 days to shoot total.
Yeah. It's probably our lightest produced feature of the year, because See You Soon was kind of impromptu and we just kind of did it.
Yeah.
This seems the most like light load, that and Wild Boys.
Yeah. I think so.
Wild Boys had a bit more running around in it though.
Yeah, there's some logistical stuff to figure out there. I mean, this still has that, but I've had this movie idea for about a year because I got it last September.
Yeah.
When we were going into October. And this was the backup movie of like, if we can't figure out how to do October, I'm going to do this movie. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of created with the idea of something easy to shoot, but now that I've been planning it for about a year.
The story's changed a lot.
It's changed a lot, and it's been designed to, let's just make it something fun and easy to shoot as well. Mm-hmm. So it may or may not be out this year. That's kind of up in the air. We're trying to see. Mm-hmm. There's some behind the scenes stuff, which I'm sure would bore you all to death of.
Yeah.
Or maybe would interest you. There's just some different reasons why we would or wouldn't release it this year.
You'll find out.
Yeah. You will see a movie this year from us. You'll see a couple more, but whether or not it's this one, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but that's the main big piece of news. Bell Rings is still in editing, so there's nothing much more to say on that. But yeah, that's the kind of the going ons here at Doom Productions. Still making 3 videos a week. So if you're listening on Spotify or on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. So if you're on Spotify, head on over to Doom Productions at YouTube. That's where we spend most of our time. That's our home base. And you can follow us on social media like Twitter and Instagram. Those are cool places to chat with us and connect, and we post over there every now and again. So other than that, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Doom Productions podcast. If you have ideas of topics you want us to talk about, you should let us know, because we're always trying to figure that out. Sometimes it's a scramble. So make our lives a little easier.
Do our jobs for us is what we want.
Yes. Maybe you'll get a producer credit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.